And joining us now, Jacob Olidort, Director of American Security at the America First Policy Institute. We greatly appreciate you joining us. As we keep mentioning, what a historic moment. Technically speaking, does this first phase, in your opinion, mean the war in Gaza is over?
Well, it's great to be with you. It certainly is coming towards that conclusion, and the timing is very significant. Look, you've had over the last 9 months Hamas militarily isolated because of Iran being degraded. Then you had the Francis theatrics in the United Nations, so diplomatically isolated. And now, last week, you've had Hamas regionally isolated. All these Arab states, 8 Arab and Muslim majority nations, saying this plan is the way to go and Hamas needs to deliver. And so the time is now, and we could see an end in sight very soon to this war.
We've been close before. I mean, you know this. In this case, though, what do you think the motivation was for Israel and Hamas to actually make this happen?
Well, I think it's very much looking at the events on the ground. And, obviously for Israel, it's a shared incentive with the United States. Netanyahu and obviously these Israeli families and the nation wants to end this war, wants to start a new leaf and a new chapter in life. But, for Hamas, there really is no option. And there's no survival, politically or otherwise, for the group. And so this is the only way. And that's the message that you've seen Qatar and Turkey deliver very sternly to the group.
I want to get to Hamas in just a moment because you do touch on a very important point. But while I've got it fresh on my mind, obviously the hostages, a huge part of this. President Trump has said the release of hostages is a priority. As you heard Ryan mention earlier, initial plans called for the weekend for the release of those hostages. Do you think that is realistic, or do you see unforeseen delays?
Well, with Hamas, anything is possible, of course. But what I've been hearing is Friday or Saturday, Hamas is slated to release all of the living hostages. That, of course, will be a tremendous event. And then, of course, the president is now confirmed to be speaking at the Knesset on Sunday. So I think a lot will be happening in the next few days. We'll learn a lot. And then, of course, phase 2 will begin in terms of the return of the deceased bodies. And so, anything can happen between now and then. But, of course, that's the plan as we know it today.
As far as the transition of power goes, what does that look like? What happens to Hamas, their weapons, their existence?
Well, so this plan, unlike the others, has called very clearly for an end, for a demilitarization of Hamas, laying down their weapons. You've had an interim power set up there as part of this day after plan with Tony Blair at the helm. You've also had the Board of Peace announced as part of this plan with the president, Tony Blair, and others as part of it. So it's a very different look at what happens in Gaza, almost as if it's really about the region itself, with Gaza as one microcosm of it. So of course, waiting to see those first 2 stages play out will be determinative, of course, of what happens next.
Obviously, this is phase 1, a very important, obviously, first step. It sounds like a good first step, but a lot to still unpack. Jacob Olidort, Director of American Security at the America First Policy Institute, thank you for joining us tonight at the National News Desk. Appreciate it.
Thank you.